Let us start our class. So in our previous class, we discussed about different parameters for the mix design of bitumen content and the aggregate. And there are several content like your VMA, volume in mix aggregate, uh, volume of the air content, okay, VAP, void filled with bitumen, etc. Different parameters which we have studied. Okay. Now the thing is, what is the significance of these volumetric parameters? Why we need to take the specific gravity of that volume of that bitumen content and the aggregate. Okay, the thing is, whenever we are mixing bitumen with that aggregate particles, in that case, that mixing generally happens with a percentage of weight of that aggregate particle, like 4% of the bitumen or 5% of the bitumen or 6% of the bitumen, like that. But later on, we have to convert this into volumetric parameters. So, what is the reason behind this? So, that thing we will discuss in this class. That is the significance of that volumetric parameters. So, in this chapter, basically, we are going to find out what are the significance of different parameters like VMA, VFP, VA, which we have discussed. What are the significance of the parameters? So, let us dig into the note. Bitumen holds the aggregate in position and the load is taken by the aggregate mass through the contact point. So you know it that bitumen particle will form one thin coating over the aggregate particle and they will act as a adhesive particle. Okay, and they will act as an adhesive particle and all this aggregate particle which is bound by the bitumen will be in its original place or it will not change its position. So if all the voids are filled by bitumen, the load is transmitted by hydrostatic pressure through bitumen. So the thing is in the bitumen content, there was one particular portion that is VMA and VAP, that is void filled with bitumen and volume in voids in the mineral aggregate. Now the thing is in our previous class three-phase diagram, you must have observed that some of the portion is left for the air content, okay, or voids in that three-phase diagram or in that mix. Now this air content is placed over there with some added advantage. Okay, there are some specification that how much air content should be there. Now in case of concrete, what happens if you reduce that air content or void in that mass, in that case that will exhibit higher strength. But for the bituminous particle, that is not the same case. In the bituminous particle, if the all the voids are filled with that bitumen particle, in that case, instead of aggregate which will transfer the load, in that case bitumen load will be transferred through the bituminous material. Okay, so that is written over here. If all the voids are filled by bitumen, the load is transmitted by hydrostatic pressure through bitumen and the strength of the mix is therefore reduced. Why strength is reduced? That because bituminous particle is not as strong enough as of the aggregate. Okay, they cannot take that load like that aggregate can. So as that is a viscous material, therefore hydrostatic pressure could be generated over there upon effect of that out forces, okay, outward forces or some vehicle load, and that load will be converted into hydrostatic pressure and that will be transferred to the down layers. So for that reason, that load carrying capacity of the total mixes will ultimately reduces. So for that reason, some void must be there. Now that is why the stability of the mix in case of bituminous mixes, stability is basically equivalent to the strength of the mix. Stability is equivalent to the strength of the mix. So that is why the stability of the mix start reducing when bitumen content is increased beyond a certain value. So if you look for the graph of that stability versus bitumen content, in that case you may observe this type of graph. Suppose here it is stability and here bituminous content. So initially this curve will be increasing, but after some point it will decrease. Now that particular point is called basically optimum bitumen content. So basically this optimum bitumen content is in terms of the voids in the mix. Now there are other optimum bitumen content also, which will be in terms of other parameters. So let us discuss about all these things. So that is why the stability of the mix starts reducing when the bitumen content is increased by a certain value. Also, during the summer season, bitumen melts and occupies the void space between the aggregates, and if the void space is not available, it causes bleeding. So basically what happens, suppose there are aggregate particles are there, and suppose in between that aggregate bitumen content is also there, and suppose there are some voids are also there. So if that voids are there in summer period, when the temperature rises by some certain point, in that case the bitumen will get liquefied and it will occupy, it changes its volume and it will occupy the remaining voids in that mix. But if there is no void, suppose there is no void, in that case because of that excessive pressure, that bitumen content will be get separated from that aggregate and it will be get starting leaking from that aggregate masses, and that phenomenon is called basically bleeding for that asphalt mix. Thus some amount of void is necessary in bitumen content where it is necessary. So for this reason, whatever we have discussed, for this reason some voids in that bitumen content is very much essential. Therefore, minimization of air voids cannot be governing criteria for bituminous mix design. Okay, so for this reason, in other cases, if you minimize the void ratio, in that case, it will increase the strength. For soil also, if the void ratio is uh, decreased in that case, that your soil mass or your concrete mass will have a greater strength, but it is not same for the bituminous particle. So for this reason, in the soil particle, generally consolidation and compaction is carried out. And for that aggregate also, you will go for that vibrator for where you will compact, or some automatic compactor where you will compact all these aggregate or concrete masses. But in the bituminous cases, that is not the case. Okay, only that air voids cannot govern that the strength or stability of the bituminous mixes. There must be other factors. So there, but another thing is, however, excess void makes the mix weak from the point of view of its elastic modulus and fatigue length. So if there is lesser number of higher number of the voids, in that case, what will happen? Water will penetrate through this and it will exhibit a lower fatigue life. Fatigue life means that is deformations in that bituminous surface, and it will have a lower elastic modulus. Now, the chances of oxidative hardening of bitumen are more for a mix with more voids. Oxidative hardening means, in some cases, when bitumen is in contact with the air and with repetitive cycle, that bitumen gets hardened, and in such cases, it loses all different of its property. Okay, for this reason, we need to check for that soundness of that bitumen also. Okay, which we have already discussed in our previous module. So, if there are more voids, in that case, there would be more in contact with that air particles, and there will be chances of that oxidative hardening will be more. And if bitumen got oxidative hardened, in that case, it will be brittle like glass and it cannot take any load. The mix specification puts various limit to the volumetric parameters to be accepted for different type of mixes such as bituminous concrete, dense bituminous macadam, standard bituminous macadam, etc. So this table gives a minimum voids in mineral aggregates requirements set in the MOT specification. MOT is Ministry of Road Transport and Highways specification. So these are the nominal maximum sizes of the aggregate and minimum void ratio related to design air voids. So if your design air voids is 3% and 4% and 5%, in that case, your VMA should be 13%, 12%, 11%, and 10%. Basically, you have to follow these things. Okay, you have to follow these things whenever you are designing the bituminous mixes. So in designing the bituminous mixes, initially you have to adopt something void ratio. So that void ratio is, it may be either 3%, 4%, or 5%. And after mixing all these parameters, you have to calculate the VMA, and then VMA should be in between these limits. So basically, that is a trial and error method, and in this way, you have to maintain the VMA content of the bituminous mixes. Now coming to the next content, that is mix design. How you design or mix that bituminous adhesive or bituminous particle with the aggregates and other mineral binders so that it will exhibit greater strength. So basically that is the mix design. So in the mix design, main function or main objective of that mix design is selection of the optimum bitumen content or OBC, and this selection of the OBC or optimum bitumen content is very delicate process because there are different parameters and you have to optimize between different parameters to find out a particular or a balancing proportion of different parameters for which you will get the optimum bitumen content. So a balance is to be maintained such that all the specification limits recommended in the code of practice are simultaneously satisfied. So we'll discuss all these parameters. So basically, there are few aspects in mixed design specification which are described in this case. So first one is specification limit the volumetric parameters like upper and lower limits of VMA, VA, and VFP. So in such cases, you have some limits, upper limits and lower limits of VMA, VA, and VAP. And based on that upper and lower limit, you will try to be in between that upper and lower limit. Okay. So figure below presents a conceptual probability diagram where the individual probability of VMA, VA, and VFP being within their respective specific limit are plotted. So basically what happens, suppose this is the area or this is the upper and lower limit of that or probability of a VMA for a particular case. Now suppose that is a case where there is a particular content of VA over there, and basically this total graphs indicates or this total circle indicates that upper and lower limits of that VA, and similarly this circle signifies the upper and lower limit of the bitumen content. Now over here there would be different bitumen content which will represent different type of VMA and VAP content. Okay, which will present different VMA and VAP content. Now your main task would be find out that exact portion. Okay, that exact portion or that bitumen content where it satisfies all the VMA, VA, and VAP requirements. Okay, suppose your VMA content for a particular mix as per the specification is 10 to 14%. Now you have found out that to achieve that 10 to 14% VMA, you can either mix 4% of the bitumen or 5% of the bitumen or 6% of the bitumen or 7% of the bitumen. Suppose there are 4, 5, 6, 7 or in between different fractions by which you can mix that bitumen content with the aggregates for which you will get the VMA content in the particular range. But the thing is, within that range, you have to find out that exact content of the bitumen for which all the other requirements for like for PA and PAB satisfies. Okay, so that is your main task whenever you are designing the bituminous and aggregate mix or asphalt mix. That is your main requirements to find out that exact spot or that sweet spot where all these conditions satisfy. Okay, so basically that is your main function uh, whenever you are mixing bitumen content with aggregate materials. Now, other thing is the stability parameters are another consideration in mix design, which are obtained from the stability test. Now, stability test is strength test basically. So, in the stability test, you will get two values, flow and stability are the two parameters measured by Marshall test, while the stabilometer and oesometer values are measured by the Gibbon method. So basically, in case of stability means strength testing, there are two methods. Okay, one is Marshall methods and another one is Gibbon method. Okay. Now the thing is in Indian condition we use generally Marshall mixed design method. So in the Marshall mixed design you will get two values. One is stability and another one is flow. So basically stability is the strength value and flow is the deflection value. As in the severe case, you know about the severe case which we have performed. So basically in the Marshall test you have to find out what is the stability and what is the corresponding deflection or displacement values. And I don't know whether you remember or not, your Marshall test equipment is there in our lab and it is put beside the severe instrument. Okay, in the left hand side. So that is your Marshall test equipment. So in the Marshall test equipment, you will basically creates the mold, Marshall mold. Marshall mold means aggregate and mix aggregate and aggregate and bituminous particle, and there is some specific cylinder shaped mold. You will put that in the mold, and after compacting in suitable number of blows, after that you will test it for that stability and flow value, and find out what are the stability and flow value for different with different bitumen content or variation with the bitumen content. So in this case also, in such way also, you can find out what is the optimum bitumen content. Now in this way, let us discuss about the Marshall method. So basically Marshall test was developed by Bruce Marshall of the Mississippi State Highway Department in 1940 and is still being used as a popular test method for design of bituminous mixes. So these are the there is nothing to explain all these things. These are simple some history. So the US Army Corps of Engineering formalized the procedure as ASTM-D 1559 and ASTO T245. Basically, these are the two codes where you will get that Marshall test specification. So in the Marshall test, load is applied to a cylindrical specimen of bituminous mix and the sample is monitored till failure. So basically, these are the this is your Marshall specimen. This is your Marshall specimen and load is applied from top and from the bottom, and you need to find out when or what is the maximum load when that will uh, uh, fail or that total mold will fail. That is your maximum stability value. Now, let us discuss about the Marshall procedure. So, for the preparation of the Marshall specimen, you need to take about 1200 gram aggregates. Now, this selection of the aggregate okay, or grading of that aggregate, you cannot abruptly select 1200 gram of that aggregate. Okay, you have to follow proper grading. Now the thing is that grading of that particular aggregate type will be depending on the various type of bituminous mixes which you are intended to design. So basically there are different type of bituminous mixes like dense bituminous macadam or bituminous concrete, like that. So based on that characterizations of the asphalt bituminous mixes, you have to take particular gradation which will be available in the particular code, that is HTML 2.5, where you will get all this your specifications or all these gradation specifications. So after mix all these materials, after mixing all these materials, you have to heat that aggregate particles up to 154 to 160 degrees Celsius. Now here, this aggregate not only indicates the coarse aggregate, but it indicates coarse aggregate, fine aggregates, and filler as per the specification given in the code. Okay, in the code there will be some specification that the 20 passes material would be passing material should be this percent, or this gram, 10 gram or 20 gram, and 10 passing material would be that portion. Okay, like that total specification would be there. So based on the total specification, you have to find out what should be the exact thing. Okay. Now the thing is, I think whether you remember or not, in our aggregate chapter, we have discussed about the batch mixing problem. So batch mixing problem is here, this batch mixing problem is very much required. So in the mixing problem, what will happen? So suppose you are mixing that particle. Now you know in that particular site, road site, there will be different sizes and shapes of the aggregate which will be stacked beside your site location. Okay, and each and every stack there will be some specification like that nominal size of that particular aggregate is 20 mm, or nominal size of particular aggregate is 10 mm, like that. You do not know what is the exact specification or exact gradation of that material. So in such cases or in the field condition, how you achieve that particular gradation? Because you cannot sieve all this material, like there would be 1 ton or 2 ton aggregates. You cannot sieve all these materials and mix accordingly to that code. That is not the way. So the thing is, you will just sieve some of the aggregate like 2 kg or 5 kg from each of the stacks. Okay, and that is called sampling. So basically, you will choose 4 to 5 kg from each of the stacks and sieve all these aggregates and find out what is the gradation of that particular aggregate stacks, or what is the gradation portion or different percentage passing of the different materials in that particular stacks. After that, you need to find out the exact ratio by which if you mix all these stacks of that aggregate, you will achieve a particular grading. So basically, that phenomenon is purely trial and error method. So you have to numerically analyze this, and you have to find out what should be the exact ratio, like whether this ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 4 or 1 is to 1 is to 2, like that. You have to find out the exact ratio, and you have to suggest the site engineers that from that stack you have to put one bucket of aggregate. From there you have to collect two bucket of the aggregate, and from there you have to collect one or three bucket of the aggregate based on your calculations. Okay, and in the site, what happens whenever you are taking aggregates? Aggregates are not taken by weight of them there. Okay, basically they are taken in that site, or they are mixing with their volumetric parameters, like one can of that aggregate or one bag of the aggregate, like that. So there your volumetric parameters is important. So aggregates, this particular aggregates are heated up to 154 to 160 degrees Celsius, and bitumen are also heated up to a temperature of 175 to 190 degrees Celsius, and the measured quantity of bitumen is poured in the container where the aggregates are being heated. So now this exact quantity of bitumen you do not know. Basically, that is the thing you have to find out. So initially you will start with from 4% bitumen, and after that you will gradually increasing the content of that bitumen, like initially 4%, then 4.5%, then 5%, 6%, like that. So aggregates and bitumen are thoroughly mixed in such a way that the upper surface of the aggregates appear to be uniformly colored with the bitumen film. So that bitumen should be mixed in such a way that all the surfaces of the aggregate material is coated with that bituminous material. Then after that, the mix is poured into Marshall mold. The diameter of that mold is 100 diameter, and height is 64 and compacted with 75 blows on each face. The mold is taken out and kept under normal laboratory temperature for 12 hours. Then it is immersed in the water bath, maintaining a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes, and after that it is taken out for the testing. Now before that you will measure all the weights and other parameters which we have already discussed in our previous classes. After that you place that this is your Marshall test instrument. You place this your mold, or that is aggregate bituminous mixes over there, and you will and that is your dial gauges to measure your load, and that is the dial gauges to measure the flow value or diffraction value. Okay, so load is applied vertically at the rate of 50 millimeter per minute on the sample at 60 degrees Celsius, and the maximum load at which the sample fails is recorded as the Marshall stability value. So at the maximum load where it fails, that is your Marshall stability value. So for a given aggregate gradation, the stability value initially increases with the increase in the bitumen content as the aggregate bitumen bond gradually gets stronger. But with further increase of the bitumen content, the applied load is transmitted to hydrostatic pressure, which we have discussed, and for this reason, its stability value decreases. And flow in the Marshall test is a deformation undergone by the specimen at the maximum load where failure occurred. So basically that is the deflection when failure occurred, that is your maximum deflection. So basically that is your flow. So in the Marshall test, flow is basically your deflection, and your stability value is the strength of the bituminous particle. Now the flow value increases with the increase in the bitumen content, because as the bitumen content increases, it will deflect more. Now the increase is slow initially, but later the rate of increase with the increased bitumen content will increase. So that is the bitumen content, and that is the Marshall stability value. So initially with the increase of the bitumen content, stability value will increase, and after that it will decrease. Okay, now this is the flow. With the increase of the bitumen content, flow value will gradually increase. There will be no decrease. Now, the VMA value for a given aggregate gradation should be theoretically remain constant. That is total voids in the mineral aggregate, that should be constant. However, in this case, it is sometimes observed that at low bitumen content, VMA slowly decreases with increase in the bitumen content. So basically, that is an exception, then remains constant over the range and finally increase at a high bitumen content. So the initial fall in the VMA value is due to the reorientation of aggregate in the presence of the bitumen. So wherever you put bitumen and you applied load, in such cases there will be a rearrangement of that aggregate particle, and for that reason VMA will slightly decrease. And at a very high bitumen, due to thicker bitumen film, the aggregate moves apart slowly, and therefore the voids between aggregates or gap between aggregates will increase, and it will increase the VMA of that particular mix. Okay, so that is the graph for VMA with bitumen content. And it is volume of air with the bitumen content. So as the bitumen content increases, VA will also decreases, because all the force will be occupied by the bitumen content, therefore reducing the total air voids in the mix. So that is all for today's class. So you can leave the meeting.